Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine Ball.
And Jennifer Denny.
And this is another small business chat. And this week, we're going to talk about tools.
Always fun.
You know, in the age of digital marketing, there is always a new tool. There's always something you can use. And one of my favorite go-to places is AppSumo. Jennifer, have you ever used that?
I have not, and that is shocking. I've heard of it, but I've never used it.
Oh my gosh, I get an email. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I get an email from AppSumo on a regular basis, and I love that they start with the kind of the TLDR. So it's always too long, don't read. So they give you the little snippet. And what they do is they get previews of all sorts of apps. And if you're a member of AppSumo, and that's free, by the way,
there you go.
You love that. You can buy any of these apps at these amazingly discounted prices. And the thing is, the developers are trying to get some user experience. Mm-hmm. I have a lifetime account with my proposal software. I paid $100. I've used that product for 10 years. I have another one that I'm going to talk about in a minute that I also paid like $100 for, and it's an integral part of my business. Now, they always have updates and enhancements, and so eventually you might upgrade. I've never had to upgrade my software. So AppSumo, there's a lot of junk, but they have a lot of great tools, and it's fun to kick the tires.
Now, is it just marketing based, or does it have a lot of other items too?
There's accounting software sometimes. Like I said, the proposal software could be used by any kind of business.
Right.
There is a lot of analytics and email marketing and a lot of that. But if a company is developing a software product and they want to do a proof of concept,
mm-hmm.
they put it on AppSumo so they can go to their investors and say, look, we have X number of people who have paid us.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so it's really cool, and it's fun to be a beta tester, and not everything is great. But I got a subscription. I ended up not using it well, but I got a really cheap subscription to a learning management tool, so it was great.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to get in on the beta and get in at first before something gets really popular, and then you have to end up paying, the retail value.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So how about you? What's one of your favorite long-time or new tools?
This is a new tool, and I think it's one that is hard for people to want to adapt to, but it is called AnyWord. And it is actually a copywriting tool, and it uses machine learning to help you write better copy. And yeah, you hear the word machine learning and copy, and you're like, oh, that's taking away my job. I'm not sure, but it still needs input and it still needs data. So it needs the original in order to give some additional creativity. Sometimes maybe you're just not feeling it. It can do headlines like on ads, like Facebook ads. It knows the difference between that and Google ads. It can do headlines on emails. It can do actual copy on like a blog. It can do all kinds of stuff, and it's relatively inexpensive. I want to say that it was starting off at $19 a month. So and then, you're not locked into anything. And I found it to be a pretty useful tool.
To me, if you are a business owner and writing is not your thing, and so you get your idea out there and then you let AnyWord kind of take a shot at it, it's like having an editor on hand who can give you feedback and really beef up your copy. And it might put me out of a job, but maybe not. But even so, I think for a lot of business owners that can't afford a copywriter, this might be a really cool solution.
Yeah. Well, and it's that machine learning you start getting afraid of, but it actually does just get you out of your own head and give you some different ideas of what other people might say.
That often that's exactly what you need. Cool. Okay, so after you've written that great blog post and you want to share it, you can go to every single social media platform and post it individually, or you can use publishing tools. And the one that we really are enjoying right now is called Publer, P-U-B-L-R.
Okay.
And I actually found it on AppSumo. What I like about Publer, it works a lot like Buffer and Hootsuite and some of the others, but I found that I could get a subscription that would allow me to have way more accounts at a much lower price, so that the price point was really attractive. But there is a nice little free version if you only have 3 accounts. You have a Facebook account, an Instagram, and a LinkedIn, and that's all you're doing. The free version is very nice, and you can schedule on the free version up to 30 posts ahead of time. Awesome. What I like is the dashboard's very logical. You can see everything you have posted for all of your accounts in a list or a calendar view. You can drag and drop on the calendar view. You can dive into an individual account. You get analytics, high level. So yeah, I knew I'm speaking your language. So you can see what people like. Reusing a post that did well is simply click in the little circle, it says reuse, and you can reschedule it. It doesn't let you do it too often. And in other words, it even protects you a little bit from being a little bit abusive. And the other thing that we really liked about this is it's the first tool that I found that I can post to the big ones, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, obviously, Instagram, Pinterest, and Google My Business.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a lot.
Yeah, and the interface changes to adapt to the requirements. So like for Google My Business, it pulls your link down to where it's supposed to be in the GMB post. It offers you the buttons that are only available on GMB and not on some of the others. So that's my new favorite.
Yeah, that could save a lot of time right there.
Oh, and once you create the initial post, then you can customize it for each of the platforms. So you're not saying the same thing exactly on LinkedIn and on Twitter. And I love that too.
Yeah. When you say the same thing across the board, people see that because they're usually on multiple channels. I know I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. Well, and what's nice is if you set your calendar, even if you hit schedule, it's going to show up on different times and days because you have a different rhythm for each of your platforms.
Yep. Makes sense.
Cool. All right. So what's your next one?
I would say that my next one is probably Descript. This tool, I like it because it has a lot of things in one. So if you're doing podcasting, if you're doing any kind of video or anything of that nature, it's a great tool for that. It allows you to actually edit videos and podcasts inside of the platform. It allows you to remove automatic filler words. It allows you to transcribe so that it could go into a blog. It allows you to create social media posts out of little tidbits of even a video. I mean, the transcription can help you with having inside of your video, the closed captioning. Like there's just multiple things that if you're into audio or podcasting, that tool makes a lot of sense.
I am real excited. I downloaded it. I'm kind of kicking the tires on it. And I think long term, it's going to allow me to give up some of my other subscriptions.
Yeah. That's whenever I look at a tool, I'm looking for a tool that can do multiple things and take care of multiple things. Problem is usually, when new softwares come out, they're kind of one-sided, and this is the one thing that they can do. Hopefully it's just inexpensive enough. This one made sense enough that I bought it for the whole year.
Yeah. Well, and I talked to somebody a while ago, and it was a really good process. She said, make a list of all the software that you're using and the subscriptions and
Mhm.
figure out what you're spending.
Yep.
And then whenever a new tool comes along, before you put it in that list, figure out what it's going to take out. And that's where I'm thinking I might be giving up my subscription to Otter because I
Mhm.
think the transcripts are as good, and this does everything Otter does and more.
And then some. Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep track of all the tools that I pay for too, because before you know it, like you start getting crazy and you're
Mhm.
spending money and you're not even using the tool. So I always take advantage of the free trials, try it out. If I don't end up using it, then I probably didn't need it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Not just because we love these tools doesn't mean they're going to be right for everybody.
Right.
But I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to give you one last one
Okay.
that's maybe not as techy, and that's the toolbox itself. And this is if you're a small business owner, there are workbooks and videos and recordings like this on all sorts of topics where you can stay one step ahead if you want to.
Yeah, and I don't even think of necessarily small business owners. I also think of individuals, and I even think of marketing agencies. I think one of the hardest things today is trying to learn everything that you need to learn, and the digital toolbox in my mind kind of, separates it out into subjects and makes it easier to kind of break down that information and check off boxes. And I mean, you're getting people that have 20 years experience plus that are inputting the information. So this isn't your brand new, hey, I just want to make a quick buck person that's putting out courses. This is someone that knows what they're talking about.
Cool. Well, we are going to add this to the toolbox, and we'll be back next week.
We'll probably add into the chat some of these tools that we are talking about.
Absolutely great idea. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And even after the recording, we'll come back, check it out, and be happy to answer.
We both got hundreds and hundreds of tools. So if you're trying to find a tool for something, we'll find it.
Awesome. Have a great week, everybody. Or weekend.